Crumbs and Doilies with my good friend Dane, and we were baking cookies. And I made an accusation, and it was a false accusation. You see, I claimed that a cookie isn't a cookie unless it has chocolate in it. You can't have a cookie without chocolate, I don't think.
No, it's not a cookie. No, that's totally correct.
And that was wrong, because I would now like to introduce to you the newest member of the C&D team, the Oatmeal Raisin Cookie. You see, it wasn't only false. I'm not just retracting my words, I am eating my words, because this might well be my new favourite cookie. But I'm not just going to stand here and talk about how great this cookie is. No, I'm going to show you how to make it. The Oatmeal Raisin is also the newest member of the Cookie Kit gang, so you can head over to CupcakeJemma.com to get yourself one, but don't worry, you don't have to. Quite frankly, if you don't want to, that is a-okay. I have put all the ingredients in the description box below so you can still bake along at home. But let's get started. So basically, it's the same kind of basic recipe of all our New York cookies with a few little ingredients changes. Everything you need to know is on the ingredient sheet. So we've got our sugar mix, our flour mix, which has got oats in it. It's got a little bit of cinnamon in there too, just to bring out some flavors. And we've also got raisins, so raisins instead of chocolate, guys. And it all begins with our sugar and butter. So we need to empty our sugar in here. As usual, it's got a blend of two. We've got caster sugar and light brown sugar as well. The light brown sugar just kind of makes it a little bit kind of more caramelly and a bit kind of softer and gooier as well. And we're going to add our butter, and as usual, it's cut into little chunks like this, and it's nice and cold straight from the fridge. Now we've got 230 grams here, which is a little bit more than our other recipes. And that's because the oats, they're kind of a little bit stubborn, they're a bit drier, so we just kind of need to equal that out, and we do that with a bit more butter, and it works perfectly. So I'm gonna get my mixer going. Again, don't need a mixer, you can do this by hand. I've seen people doing it and it works just as well. So we're gonna get it onto a low speed. We're gonna mix it until it forms some nice sugary, buttery nuggets. And once you're there with your sugary nuggets, we're going to go in with our additions. And usually this is where we add chocolate chips, but no, today it's raisins. But you could use other dried fruit as well. Like, a lot of people aren't massive fans of raisins. You could use like dried cranberries or even like sultanas if you want something a little bit squishier. So we've got 200 grams of those, and they're going to go straight in. I'm just going to mix that just for about 30 seconds, just to kind of evenly distribute it between the batter. And then we can go straight in with our dry mix. And in here, we've got the flours, the salts, the raising agents, and like I said, a little bit of cinnamon, because it just works with this kind of oatmeal raisin flavor. And also the oats, of course. So I'm gonna tip all of that in with the mixer still going on a low speed. And we're just gonna mix that until it forms a nice breadcrumby, sandy consistency. Okay, final ingredient is eggs. So I've got 2 eggs here. And before we add them to our mixture, what we're gonna do is just give them a little mix first, so that we don't have to beat the batter too much to bring it all together. And then we can pour it straight into our mixer. And I'm gonna turn it on again to a low speed. And we're just gonna keep it mixing until it forms a nice squishy dough. Okay, that is done. And now if you've made some of our other New York cookie recipes, you might think that this seems a lot kind of stickier, and it does because of that extra butter that we've put in. So don't worry, you're doing the right thing. So now we need to measure them into balls. So I'm gonna go for 100 gram balls, but if you like them bigger, go for 125. And then once we've done that, we're gonna freeze them. So when you're rolling your balls, we're not actually rolling. All we're doing is gently squishing them together. Just a couple of squeezes, so they're kind of a bit chunky, they're not perfectly round. And we do that because we want them to be nice and cracked and chunky once they've come out of the oven. so that's all my cookies. I've got 12 cookies here, and now we need to freeze them so that when we bake them, they stay nice and chunky and they get really crispy on the outside and really gooey on the inside. And ideally you want to do this overnight, but a couple of hours will be fine if you just can't wait. But I have already got some here that were made yesterday, so let's go and get them in the oven. So when you're ready to bake your cookies, preheat your oven to 180 degrees C. You really need to preheat your oven, guys. Honestly, it's going to make for a much better bake. And 5 minutes before you're ready to bake your cookies, you want to put your baking tray in with some parchment to make sure that underneath of our cookies are going to get nice and crispy. And then pop however many cookies you want on. So the best thing about these cookies is that you can bake one at a time and leave them in the freezer for when you're in need of a cookie. Spread them out a bit because they are going to spread a little bit. You don't want them to stick together. And then we'll pop them in the oven for 14 minutes until the outside's nice and golden. I'm just going to cut to the chase and break this open. That is the perfect amount of goo. For the perfect cookie. It's so good, and it's so unlike the other ones. You absolutely have to bake it because the oats have such a great texture. And then you get the kind of gooey, squishy raisins, and the cinnamon is just a subtle hint, but it's so important in this cookie. And they kind of taste healthy. You can kind of fib yourself that it's breakfast. This is what I've been doing for the past week. They're absolutely amazing, and I know you guys are gonna love them. So please do bake them. If you wanna get a kit, because we've done all the hard work for you, then head over to CupcakeJemma.com and grab yourself one and have a look at all the other kits as well on there. But please make sure you tag me and Gemma because she's at home with her little baby, loving all your work out there on Instagram. So use hashtag CupcakeJemma so we can all see and share your photos. There's probably heaps more I'm supposed to tell you. We'll be back on Thursday with another video, but until then, perfection.